Honestly, this is why you feel lost. This is why you feel unfocused. This is why you feel unhappy or drained, because you're not focused on you. And that's just the bottom line. You're not focused on you and your life and pouring into your life. All right, so how much focus do you actually put into your life? Like, how much focus do you actually, how much energy are you putting into your life? I feel like, and I'm speaking for, I'm speaking from my personal experience. My video is for young girls, in high school from 9th grade all the way to 12th. How much focus are you putting into your life? How much energy are you putting into yourself? I want you to really sit and ask yourself these questions, because I feel like nowadays young girls get so caught up in everything that's outside of them, expectations and what's going on in social media, what's going on, in society, in relationships. And, we start to put all of this focus on everything that's outside of us. And, I really want, for young girls to start realizing that you have to put the energy and the focus on yourself. And this goes for your emotions, this goes for your mindset and your. It's so easy to get swept away and caught up in everything outside of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you don't have a vision and you don't have, your mind on you, you become everything that's outside of you. And, with social media and all of these different trends and all of the different things, it's easy to get lost, and it's easy to kind of just be here and be there and not really cultivate a life that's fulfilling and in alignment with what you need and what you want and what you desire. And nobody really tells us or talks about or puts emphasis on focusing on yourself. Nobody really does that when you're young. It's always kind of like this situation where you kind of have to figure it out as you go. And yeah, you do. But when you're, like I said, when your focus isn't there, then as you're going through life figuring it out, you end up, falling in all the traps and falling in all of the distractions and all of the toxicity and all of the draining things that you really don't need to go through, or really shouldn't have to go through, if there were more talks about focusing on yourself, if people understood the significance of focusing on you and putting yourself first. And my message to young girls is just, put yourself first. Like, the things that, society tries to pressure women into doing, don't fall for that. If it isn't what you want, if it isn't in alignment with what you want and what you need, doesn't make you happy, if it doesn't feel like it's right for you, then don't do it. Don't feel that pressure to try to meet other people's expectations of who you should be and what you should do, because it's a trap. You will always lose yourself when you put other people's expectations over your own. You will always lose yourself when you start to look outside of yourself for direction and guidance and purpose from people that don't even have it themselves, or people that really don't have a focus on their life and their self. And at the same time, everybody is figuring out, everybody is learning, everybody is growing, but you have to find that balance between listening to other people and listening to yourself, because you always have to let your heart guide you. You always have to let your intuition guide you as a woman, because that's the most important guidance and the most important guidance that you'll ever have. And when you stop listening to that, and when you ignore that, and when you suppress that, that's when you fall victim to so many things. Never doubt how you feel. Never put down how you feel, because it'll always put you in a place where you suffer. It'll always have you in a place where you are unhappy, when you don't value self and when you don't value your feelings. Always put your feelings first. Don't ever, put your feelings on the back burner for anybody. For a man, for a relationship, for anybody outside of you, for friendships, put yourself first. Put focus on you, because at the end of the day, you will regret it if you don't. You will find yourself lost, drained, stranded, lost if you put yourself last. If you don't focus on you, you will never go wrong focusing on you, baby. You will never go wrong when you have your mind and your heart focused on you. Whatever you want to do in this life, whatever you want to focus on, whatever you don't want to do. Don't fall into the pressures of other people. You don't have a box to be in. Don't put yourself in a box and don't let anybody else put you in a box. And let me tell you something, you will never regret putting yourself first. You will never regret putting yourself first. But you know what you will regret? Putting everybody else first. When you knew that you didn't need to do that. You knew you didn't need to listen to that person. You knew that you needed to trust your gut. But instead, what did you do? You listened to that person. And now you're suffering. Now you're miserable. Now you're unhappy. Or now you are put off somewhere where you didn't really have to be had you listened to yourself. You put yourself 10 steps ahead in life when you always trust your heart and your intuition, baby. You will always be 10 steps ahead when you lead with self. What is good for self? What is good for me? What do I need? What do I want? And we're not talking about being selfish. They always want to say you're being selfish. No, you're not being selfish when you're taking care of you. That's what you're supposed to do. I hate when people try to call you selfish when you're doing what's best for you, or when you make decisions. Yes, I'm sweating, baby. It's hot out here. But when you make decisions that benefit you, you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to make decisions that benefit you. You're not supposed to put yourself at last. You're not supposed to put yourself at the back burner and put everybody else in front of you. Baby, I know y'all heard the saying, you cannot pour from an empty cup. You can't. There's nothing there. There's nothing you can give to anybody else if you give nothing to yourself. That's why the focus must be on you. The energy must be on you. Because if it's not, you're draining yourself. You're draining your energy, your life force energy you need to live, to manifest, to thrive, to evolve. You need all of that. Please don't give it away. Please don't, feel like you have to give that away. You need that. Because that is how you evolve. When you're putting that energy into yourself, when you are pouring into yourself, aka filling up that cup, that is how you evolve. That is how you grow. That is how you transform. When you give all that away to everybody else, when you start trying to fit and conform into these boxes that everybody else trying to put on you, when you start to distrust your own self and distrust your own guide, and like I said, this applies to your emotions as well. Every action doesn't need a reaction. I'm learning that. Sometimes I just have to let shit go. Sometimes I just have to let people do them and be them, and I just got to do me and be me. Because I have spent so much time like over focusing on everybody else and why they do what they do. That's a waste of time. That's a waste of energy. So, like I said, from personal experience, I have spent a lot of time contemplating and thinking about, why things happen the way they do and why do people do the things that they do, and all of it is a waste of time. Most people are unconscious of themselves. Some people do things intentionally, but at the end of the day, sitting and thinking about and stressing about and overthinking about why people do what they do is taking focus away from you and what you need to be doing. Like, I almost wasn't even fit to record this video because I'm sitting over here thinking and wasting all of my energy and my focus on situations that have recently happened to me, that have distracted me, that have brought me down. I wasn't finna make this video, but I said, you know what, I can't operate like that, because I put myself behind when I'm sitting and I'm focusing on everything outside of me, and I'm not focusing on what I need and what I want to do and what I desire to do. I can't operate like that. Because now I'm wasting my life force energy of creation. Now I can't create the life that I want. Now I can't manifest the life that I want because I'm sitting over here letting all my focus and my energy just be wasted. You will always regret it in the end. And it's nothing worse than living a life full of regrets. Like, for me, I just turned 25 this year. And I'm like, man, if I hadn't wasted so much of my focus on outside things, I would be so much further ahead in life. If I would have trusted my intuition and trusted my gut and allowed for my heart to lead instead of outside things, I would be a lot further. If I didn't waste so much time being sad and being overly focused on everybody else and what they're doing and why they're not doing this and that, or why they are doing this and that, I would be a lot more focused. I have so much creative energy and so much, just ideas and things that I want to do. But how can I do that if I'm sitting and I'm thinking about the past, or I'm thinking about, you know, something in the future that hasn't happened yet, or I'm, wasting all of my energy, basically. Put the focus back onto you. Whatever you need to do that. Make a to-do list. Write out your goals. Script. Try scripting. Try journaling. Anything that you can do to put the focus back on you, you will feel so much better. I can say that from personal experience, coming out of depression, coming out of postpartum depression, I feel so much better when I take the time to just journal. When I take the time to intentionally focus on me, how I'm feeling, what I'm doing. And it's simple things like that can get the ball rolling when it comes to bringing back your energy to yourself and, focusing on you. Simple things. And those small steps will compound, and they will turn into even more things that you can start doing for yourself. And it's like you'll start to feel all of this control and all of this power over yourself and over your life, because you are putting the focus back into your life. You are bringing the power back to you. You are calling your power back to you. And that's the most important thing that you have in this life, is your own life force energy. If you struggle with meditation like me, journal, write shit down, slow your mind down, read. Reading is good for me. Read something that's going to teach you something. Read, whatever you need to do to just kind of slow down and check in with yourself. Check in with you. I want more conversations for young girls to focus on themselves. I want more young girls to start thinking about that. And I'm seeing it. It's interesting, because on my last video, I was talking about like the soft life trend and like it girl trend. And it's like I'm seeing more and more of women putting the focus on themselves. But I just don't want it to be superficial. I don't want it to be just outside. I look cute on the outside, but on the inside, I'm lost and I'm miserable, So just remember to pay as much attention to the inside of you, your feelings, your intuition, your emotions, just as much as you are paying attention to the outside of you. Because like I said, to me, the soft life trend is kind of this collective understanding that the woman needs to rise. But like I said, I just don't want it to be superficial and just, like I said, just outside base. So yeah, just overall, my message is just for young girls to value themselves, to love themselves, to focus on themselves, because that's when you will start to grow. That's when you will start to bloom. And that is when, you will really start to be in alignment and be happy and be fulfilled. And I feel like who doesn't want that? Every woman deserves that, to be fulfilled and just to be in her prime and in her light, shining and just being happy. Focused on herself, to be growing, to be, just doing her thing. Who doesn't want that? I want every woman to experience life like that. And I want young girls to start to get in that mind frame and not get lost in the crowd and focus on you. How much are you focused on you? That's the question for today. Ask yourself that. Think about that and move forward. Thanks for watching.